everyone and welcome to the Captain's Video Weblog. We are Wednesday, January the 13th, 2016 and it's midnight at this point, so we kinda are the 14th. But I'd rather still be the 13th because tomorrow in the morning there's an exam and I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. This is so not happening. Somewhere in what I've written since the beginning of the year, I've got the material to be prepared for that exam, but it's the kind of thing that where if I manage to I don't know, reach 5 maybe, will be a great success. Then again, yeah, the last year in kind of the same class I said that if I reached 8 would be great. I was at 12, one of the better grades in the whole class. I think. So yeah. Compared to earlier today, namely the very beginning of the day, I'm feeling way better. For some reason, might be linked to the fact that I've drank Coca-Cola, because I'm gonna be totally honest. Until 4 a.m. I was still spitting bile, which is not good. Because you're like, it's gonna be something awful because your whole body is contracting. You're like, oh boy, what's going on? My legs gave in, so I was just over the not the toilet, but I would have been maybe better. And suddenly the only thing that goes out it's spit, and I'm like, in my head I'm like, why would you do everything like that just for spit? Is it that complicated to bring up stuff from the esophagus when it's obviously smaller than it? I understand for the rest of it, but for that, nah. So I skipped 2 meals, kinda. I skipped the meal of yesterday night. I ate some applesauce, I would say, because it's fruity, it's cold, apples are pretty good, yeah, and also it's not the real apple, so it's kind of better. I managed to eat one, and then I was like, well, I'm way too weak for that. I didn't even clean up until early this afternoon. So that was pretty shitty. But I won't be too regarding on that kind of matters. Once it's gone, and until I drained the Coca-Cola, I still had the feeling that at any moment it could go off, and suddenly I thought that it was related to the presence of soda in the Coca-Cola, because for the longest time Coca-Cola had soda, which is why everything in this category is called soda, and it's actually pretty good. It's recommended that you ingest it when you've got stomach aches, and the first time I've heard that, it was because I was doing, I had vomited in my bed, and I was being a little brat, and I said I want some Coca, and I can have it. It's 3 in the morning, and I've just made a mess in my bed, something that I could not control. So yeah, why not? And I felt a great deal of relief. And then I learned that, well, it would kind of be recommended. So yeah, but they've removed the soda from the recipe. I think only in Europe, or maybe it's a general thing. So it's not really uh, the right the right thing to drink after uh, expulsing everything in your body. But maybe it's just because of the gas. I don't know. Yeah. So at any rate, uh, what can I say? Today was pretty shitty day. With well, I mean, it started with something that had been bothering me for like an hour 2 days ago. Well, Tuesday night. But yeah, I mean, first I vomit, and I mean, I was so weak that I think I'm actually a little bit sick right now. Because I had to take some a pill just because I had an headache that was awful. Just ah, worst shit that could happen, honestly. And yeah, I've seen my favorite team just lose in a match against a team that's not supposed to be better than my team, because you're like, no, why, god damn it, they're at the bottom of the league. Huh. One of our players was like, yeah, we're a decent team. I'm like, no, you're not. You're 10th out of 20 teams. You're 10th. Last year at this point you may have had lost 2 matches, but you were still at the top of the league. And yet you, who are talking right now, are shitting on the methods of the coach from last year, who was obviously way better. I know that he went on a defeat, but have you seen the team against whom you lost? It's currently the third team in the league. The third. I mean, why am I bothered by soccer, you would think, but it's something that cannot be explained. When I'm happy about this team, I'm really happy. When I'm mad, I'm really mad. Sometimes I'm sad, but most often I'm mad. I mean, I could be sad if the elimination had come in like the semifinals of the Europa League for this season. But it's the quarterfinals of the League Cup against the 19th or the 18th, or maybe, the people who are just a couple of units away from being in the relegation zone. And you're saying we're a decent team. Fuck off. I'm not saying that the coach should be sacked, though kinda. I mean, obviously you cannot really say that kind of stuff, because he's linked to the club because of the Invest Fund, which is a very bad thing. I mean, the players that have come because of this fund have not been the greatest. They've been there, they've been okay, but I mean, one is currently on loan to Granada in Spain, and he's just making himself look like a fool. At the beginning of the season, when he was just loaned, there is an option of selling 7 million euros, and the club he was loaned to was like, well, I mean, so far he's been looking good, so maybe we will buy off the player. And a couple of weeks away, he's one of the lowest rated players in the whole Liga. And you're like, well, I mean, he's going to come back to our club, and maybe he will play. I really miss Bielsa, because I mean, even though it looked like the players wouldn't be able to hold onto the first place, which they didn't. At least when you watched the match, it was entertaining. When I watched a match, when I watched Sunday's match, I was like, at this point, I should maybe drop it. I should maybe stop watching because it physically hurts me that this team that I love so much, that is currently the only French team to have won the Champions League, is performing so bad, and the network has chosen this match to be broadcast when I don't know, Angers versus Caen apparently was a way better match, with a probably with the outcome being not being a goalless, purge. And you're like, we're sitting through that, huh? I mean, obviously it was a very good way to cool down after the end of the wild card playoff between the Seahawks and the Vikings, but it's not a good match by any measure. I mean, it wasn't even the level in this match wasn't even professional. And yeah, I'm really kind of mad because it's a team that I really like, that I really love, and I can not bring myself to be to just see them, and and I'm like, why anyway. Daniel Bryan could be freed from his contract at the WWE, which is it could be a bad thing. It could be a really bad thing, because a couple of weeks ago, not even a couple of weeks ago, maybe even last week, because we're so early into January, last week or so, he was posting, hey, can you clear me already? Because it was like, wow, Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles and all those guys coming to the WWE when the top guy is Roman Reigns. Yes, because John Cena is injured. Oh god, I would have never thought that I would say that, even though I kind of thought this way last time he wasn't there, and the time before even kind of not though. But last time he wasn't there for an extended period of time, was just a couple of months ago. It was like, yeah, it's getting boring without Cena. I mean, I might not like the things they do with him, being always on top and just being, hustle, loyalty, respect, haha, you don't know shit, Jack. But at least he defended his United States title. I started making like, Eden, that's not a good thing. His United States title on a regular basis, and that was a good thing. That was entertainment. You could see stars that you would not usually see in the title picture. At this point, the most interesting thing going on is the New Day, and I'm fairly interested in Social Outcasts. That I really don't know how that's gonna work, because they're establishing 4 personalities that are so different between Bo Dallas, Adam Rose, Curtis Axel, who I really liked the bit when they said that he still wasn't out of the Royal Rumble last year, and Heath Slater. They 4 characters that are so different from one another, and you're like, how does that work, huh? How does such a faction function? Get it? So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see how well or how not well they will mesh together. Yeah, I don't know. I should stop rambling on things that are not good. Oh, talking about Shinsuke Nakamura, he's been stripped of his of his Intercontinental Championship, which is kind of weird because you would think that it would have been better to make him lose to Kenny Omega, but I guess Japan is much more is much more into kayfabe than the US. You know, it's not, they're not gonna advertise him as going away and possibly to the WWE. It's just that I mean, yeah, of course he would have looked a bit silly to make the most over guy in the company drop his title because to an upstart. I mean, Kenny Omega isn't really an upstart, but he's the dude who's suddenly kicking the door in and like, hey, AJ Styles, fuck you, whoop whoop. But yeah, would be, I guess that in kayfabe it would be strange that with people knowing that he's already 1 foot out of the door, they make him drop the title. But it's, I mean, it's kind of a strange thing to do. But yeah, I mean the rumors, it's getting more and more close to be confirmed until the point where you actually hear that AJ Styles and Kenny Omega, not Kenny Omega, and Shinsuke Nakamura and Cole Anderson and Doug Gallows have signed to, you know, TNA. But with all the teasing by Finn Balor, I would not expect them to sign there. Even, I mean, that would be a very bad idea. Yeah. I mean, it's I should have taken that pill way earlier because right now I'm feeling pretty well, and I don't know, maybe I won't be asleep soon enough to be awake on time for my exam. But I mean, it's either I spend the whole night reading the article that I'm supposed to that's apparently going to the exam is going to be about, or I'm doing, you know, fuck the police tomorrow morning. I don't know. Either way, it's going to be I have no idea what I'm doing. At least I've got, you know, some style when I write. It's probably I probably didn't take that from Prepa, but I obviously having to write pages upon pages upon pages upon pages helped me develop, you know, just being pedantic. Because, you know, really it's nothing but that. So, anyway, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Well, I don't know what will happen tomorrow, but I mean, at least it cannot be worse than Monday, where I had to walk under the rain with the cold weather. Oh, also, turns out that winter has really arrived. This afternoon, I went to the class, and you know, in the afternoon, it's not really. It's kind of fresh. But when I came out of the class, which was like three hours after that, it was fucking cold. Holy shit! It's like, yeah, winter is there. It's literally the temperature at which when I hold my keys, I'm like, that hurts. I'm not cutting myself, but that hurts. So yeah, between Monday and having to wear, you know, like maybe 20 kilos of stuff on my back and on my shoulders. Hey, Quasimodo, what are you doing? I don't know, I'm going to class. What about you? Fuck you, man. And yesterday, where I was so in pain that I actually had to wait until tonight to finish my report, because this beginning of the afternoon, I was like, I'm still kind of thinking that I could barf all over my computer, so I'm not gonna write too much. And I had written like maybe one paragraph or two. It wasn't really looking good. And you know, it's just But tomorrow, you know, it's just like a small hindrance, a mild inconvenience, like an exam that I know fucking nothing about. So yeah, it cannot be worse. I'm not gonna say that because I have a weird tendency to jinx myself to no end. It's terrible. I already have to finish my pasta because I originally planned on finishing it, you know, yesterday night, and it's been in my refrigerator for 20 more for 24 more hours. So that cannot be good. Bye bye. You know, to me it's really depressing, but I guess that with a little bit of hindsight, it's really first world problems. You know, I did that test to see if I was privileged or not. I have a score of 0 and somehow that's still advantaged. I don't know how that works, but I will get my privilege checked, definitely.